age. So I'm going to put in the number 220 and minus, how old are you today?
60.
60.
Easy math.
Okay. And so that's 160. And then we multiply that from we want to work out between 50 and 75% of that. So we're going to go for the max at 75%. So we're going to multiply 160 times 0.75. And so we're trying to get you working up about 120 beats per minute. Now you have...
you count as a workout. I'm at 118 right now.
So Eddie, you're wearing some kind of a smart watch that measures your heart rate, which is good. So I was going to talk about that as well, because there's a lot of ways that you can measure your heart rate. A lot of people have the smart watches now, or the Fitbits, or the old school, but some people have those. But it's a way to measure your active heart rate. So it gives you what should be your resting heart rate. So as long as I'm not sitting in front of you getting your heart rate up and racing, you have a resting heart rate. And usually for your age, your resting heart rate should be somewhere in the 70s or low 80s, to be honest. If you don't have a smartwatch, they can be kind of expensive. You can get one of these, which is called a pulse oximeter. So a pulse oximeter, you're probably familiar with it, but it's one of those things that if you're not watching, it just slides onto your finger. And the pulse oximeter is great because it gives your oxygen saturation, which should be close to 100%. Sometimes it goes down into the 90s, but it should be in the 90 percentile for your pulse ox. And then it also gives you your active heart rate. So it'll give you your resting heart rate before you start exercises. And then during or after you exercise, you can take your heart rate again. And I'm currently using this quite a bit with my new Drum Fit for Parkinson's program that I'm doing. So the Drum Fit for Parkinson's program is the new exercise program that I've developed for Parkinson's, and I offer in both the Bridgewater and the Cranberry office. And all the individuals that come in, we get a resting heart rate. Then about 3/4 of the way through the program, I get an exercise heart rate, because I want to make sure that my program that I'm providing for them has them working hard enough to make a difference. Because if they're just coming in and going through the motions, it's not going to make a difference in any of their goals they want to achieve. Or if it's overworking them, they're going to get tired. They're not going to be able to finish the program, and they're probably going to drop out of the program. They're not going to complete it. Just like a lot of us drop out of our initial exercise programs we start because we go in, too full throttle, too aggressive, and we're going to end up dropping out or not finishing the program because we overdid it. So let's use this pulse ox, and we're going to put this on Eddie's finger here.
I apologize for grabbing my phone. According to the Chinese watch, my resting heart rate is 61.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you really bring it on, don't you?
Yeah, for someone that bicycles and is pretty active like yourself, I would expect a little bit lower resting heart rate, like in the 60s. That's good for an athlete. Can I call you an athlete?
Sure. Senior.
So, and the more athletic you are, the lower your resting heart rate will be. A lot of these marathoners and people that do ultra marathons, their resting heart rates can get pretty low in the 40s and 50s. But then their exercise heart rate, again, you use that formula, that 220 minus your age times anywhere between 50 to 75%.
What
is about
would
where
make
you
a
want to be.
person choose 50% rather than 75? Is that more easing into it?
That's more easing into it. So as an example, what we talk about exercising, you want to exercise about 150 minutes a week at this target heart rate. And so a 50-year-old is going to be at about between 85 and 128 beats per minute. A 65-year-old is typically around 78 to 116 beats per minute, and an 80-year-old between 70 and 105 beats per minute. And that's coming from that formula of 220 minus your age times the 0.5 or 75%, somewhere in that range category. That's about where you want to exercise. And on top of that, you want to do a couple days of resistance training. So if you're someone that just wants to start an exercise program, maybe lose a little weight, maybe get a little bit of tone. Maybe you're developing diabetes, you're pre-diabetic, and your doctor says, you really need to exercise more. I'm going to put you on this medication. And most people really don't want to take medication. Medication typically has some side effects. As good as medications are and how necessary they are, sometimes they usually have side effects. And if you can do something to change your lifestyle, to have a healthier lifestyle, whether that be through diet or through exercise, I recommend you choose the healthy diet exercise over taking the medication if you can. That's kind of been my goal as far as to stay off the cholesterol medications, to have a healthier diet and exercise. But what they recommend is about 150 minutes of exercise a week getting that target heart rate category of 50 to 75% of that 220 minus your age, and then also doing some resistance training in addition to that twice a week. So it's not crazy numbers. I mean, we're not asking you to exercise 2 hours every day. You break down 150 minutes, and that's doing some cardio 3 times a week, and then resistance training twice a week, and that's meeting your goals. Now, another thing people ask me is, well, how do I know where, like you talked about, how do I know where I am right now as far as baseline goes? And we actually recommend a yearly visit to your physical therapist, just like you go to your doctor for a yearly visit. When you go to a doctor for your yearly visit, they're weighing you. They do some blood work. They're taking your blood pressure and your heart rate. They're getting baseline measures to know how healthy you are right now. Well, that's the same thing a physical therapist can do. Plus, the physical therapist is going to look at your range of motion, your flexibility, your strength, your balance. So getting a yearly screen by your physical therapist is also recommended, because we're looking at additional components of things that are going to make you a healthier person, decrease the risk of injury. So say you decided, you got a new pickleball racket for Christmas and say, this is the year I'm going to learn pickleball.
I'm going on tour.
And that's a fantastic exercise, but you can't just go out and play pickleball. You got to learn the sport, but your body's got to learn the sport as well. So if you just learn the sport and go into playing, you're likely to have one of those pickleball injuries that is really high right now, really a high incidence of pickleball injuries right now. We see a ton of them in physical therapy. The emergency room, the urgent care is filled with pickleball injuries. The orthopedic office is filled with pickleball injuries. It's crazy because this pickleball it's become so popular, everybody wants to play it, but they're not preparing their bodies for it. So we recommend a yearly physical therapy evaluation to look at your flexibility, look at your strength, look at your balance, work on those things that are going to help you to meet your goals. If your target is, I want to be that player on the pickleball court, come in and see us at MRS Physical Therapy. We'll prepare your body for being that best pickleball player and not ending up in the urgent care for an injury.
What's number one injury on pickleball? Ankle, knee, or shoulder, or elbow?
Ankle's probably number one.
Yeah.
Pulling a muscle in the ankle. But we see ankles, we see knees, we see hips, we see back, we see shoulders, we see elbows, we see wrists. It's the whole gamut. That's why a full comprehensive physical therapy screen is really important that we provide at MRS Physical Therapy to help you out.
Dale Reckless of MRS Physical Therapy. When we come back from news, I do want to ask you, because I didn't mean to be rude, but I pulled up the app connected to my watch. All of the information in the world is available. I want to talk to you about the accuracy of that. That's After News with Dale from MRS Physical Therapy on. Go ahead. My blood ox is going to be about 26. On has something to crow about? I just sit back and listen to Dale. I got nothing to yell about.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the Best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the Best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com. Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Wednesday, January 15th of 2025, it'll be mostly cloudy skies today with a high near 22. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. According to a release from State Representative Roman Kozak's office, Kozak announced that $148,500 was given to the Beaver Falls Community Development Corporation. The Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development provided this money through the Neighborhood Assistance Program. The goal for this funding is to help reduce home ownership decline in Beaver Falls with a project to renovate a house on 18th Street. U.S. Attorney Eric G. Olshan announced Tuesday that a man from Youngstown, Ohio, was sentenced to 45 months in jail and 3 years of supervised release for distributing 4 drugs. 21-year-old William McCree was accused of trafficking cocaine, methamphetamine, fentanyl, and fluorofentanyl between May of 2021 and October of 2022. McCree had a drug trafficking charge from Mercer County that was pending and was on bond at that time. PennDOT District 11 announced lane restrictions on University Boulevard in Moon Township will occur weather permitting beginning today, Wednesday, January 15th. At 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays through late June, Rosemont Drive on the University Boulevard intersection will undergo gas line installation work. Both roads will stay open even during minor restrictions on University Boulevard, along with most of the work being completed on Rosemont Drive. Gas prices are 3 cents lower in western Pennsylvania this week at about $3.38 per gallon, according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The report states that at this week last year, the gas price was about $3.37. The report also notes that the average price that you can expect for an unleaded gallon of gas here in Beaver County is about $3.40. An elementary school educator from Pennsylvania has been named this year's Education Support Professional of the Year, one of the highest honors in the field. Here's more from Danielle Smith.
The Pennsylvania State Education Association's Dorothy McCracken Education Support Award goes to Becky Marsalak, a paraprofessional at Avonworth Elementary School in Pittsburgh. For 18 years, Marsalak says she has dedicated herself to assisting teachers and students in the classroom, providing the support needed for everyone to succeed.
I've worked with kids that have been in a wheelchair. I have kids that have had autism. So it's a matter of, if they need help with their work, whether they need help maneuvering through the school, sometimes just a comfort person to go to and be like, I need a break. I'm having a tough time.
Marsalak recently attended the PSEA annual meeting in Philadelphia, where she addressed more than 500 members and was presented with the state award. This achievement now qualifies her to compete at the national level. In March, she will join other state winners in Louisville, Kentucky, vying for the National Education Support Professional of the Year award.
Representative Josh Kale joined 3 other Pennsylvania state leaders to announce the formation of the Pennsylvania Competitiveness Caucus. This group hopes to unite efforts throughout party lines and the capital to improve the competitiveness of economy in Pennsylvania and in the future. Black Hawk High School will be hosting an event on Friday in which donations in person or online benefit the Beaver County Special Olympics. According to Black Hawk School District staff, a mobile polar plunge event will be hosted at Black Hawk High School from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. The activities include dives into the Beaver River, a raffle, vendors, and food trucks. The website link to donate online can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Partly sunny today. We'll see a high near 22 with wind chill values as low as 0. Mostly cloudy tonight will drop down to a low around 10. Snow showers expected through a good portion of the day tomorrow will reach a high near 28 and an overnight low around 24. Mostly cloudy on Friday. Look for a high of 33 and a low around 26. And rain in the forecast for Saturday. We'll see a high near 39 and a low around 19. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Are you ready? It's time to find out what is on the mind of Eddie Crow. It's something to crow about on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. Now, here's the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
Normally, I would say the show does not live up to the voiceover work preceding it, but today is an exception because Dale is here. Dale Reckless, MRS Physical Therapy. We're talking about getting healthy for the new year, and you can watch. This is being live Facebook fed on our Facebook page, and You just got some things clipped onto me and got my heart rate and all well and good. And it sounds like what you're talking about is an inspection you do for your car,
Yeah,
but
that's a good way to
for
put it.
your
Yeah.
body.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, get your body, yearly body inspection. That's a good way to put it. It's a yearly physical therapy screen that we can do. We have 2 offices, MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater, which is right in Stone Point Landing, and then Cranberry Physical Therapy, which is in Cranberry Township on Route 19, right next to North Park Lounge. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can call the Bridgewater office at 724-728-7550, or call the Cranberry office at 724-591-8121. Either office, we can see you for doing a physical therapy physical or screen for you to help you out meet your goals for this year. And the other thing we have going on right now that I have a lot of people that are coming in right now that kind of delayed taking care of themselves last year. So for whatever reason, whether the holidays or taking care of other family members got in the way, they're finally getting around to taking care of themselves. So that's something to keep in mind too. So, people with low back pain and neck pain they've been dealing with for, a couple months, people with dizziness, vertigo issues that they've been dealing with. Patients that were dealing with it for up to a year that are kind of like, now's the time to take care of myself and, go to see MRS Physical Therapy to take care of it. Because it's not going away on its own. And that's, typically what we do. We have something happen. I had a patient this morning before I came in that, kind of thought things were going to go away on its own. And, a month passed by, 2 months passed by, 3 months passed by, and it's not getting any better. So, you want to try to come to see us as soon as you can. But if you have waited, that's okay. If you've delayed, we can still, help you out. But research shows that the sooner you come to see us at MRS Physical Therapy, the less expensive it's going to be to fix you. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer to fix you, if you've waited, but we'll still be able to take care of you. Like vertigo as an example, we had 2 patients last week. We were able to fix them in 1 visit. They came in for their second visit and they're like, I'm good. I don't need you guys anymore. And I said, that's great. You don't.
How long had they had vertigo?
For months.
For months.
For months, they've
One
been dealing
visit.
with vertigo, dizziness. 1 visit, we fixed them. We had 2 patients like that last week, which makes me so happy. I can be able to say, you're right. You don't need us now. You're good to go.
Did that freak them out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it freaked them out because they'd been dealing with it for so long, and it freaked their spouses out.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean you're not dizzy? You just started physical therapy yesterday.
Dale
and
Reckless, you're a witch. That's amazing.
And, this one guy I talked to last week, he's like, yeah, my wife doesn't believe me, because I'm good. I'm not dizzy anymore. And we fixed him that quick. And sometimes we have those great results. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but, we always have the good outcome in the end. We're going to take care of whatever you need, whether it's a low back issue, a neck issue, maybe you've been delaying and that shoulder's been bothering you a little bit. It's getting in the way of you playing pickleball or lifting up your grandkids, or your back's bothering you. You can't get on the ground to play with your grandkids, whatever it is. Now's the time to take care of those things. A lot of things are off season right now in the winter. Come to see us and take care of yourself. So when spring comes around, you're ready to work on your garden. You're ready to get outside, throw some ball with your kids, your grandkids, whatever it might be, whatever your goals are. Number one, have that target. Know what you're working towards, because that helps to motivate you. But then what you're going to do has to be measurable, and it has to be something that if it's measurable, then you'll be able to see and get the results. And that's what we help you out with at MRS Physical Therapy and Cranberry Physical Therapy. We help you find those measures. So doing the physical therapy screen, when you come in, we're looking at things like your neck range of motion, your shoulder range of motion, your strength of your arm. So if you're a thrower or a pickleball player, for example, you're less likely to get injured if we know that your shoulder strength is where it needs to be. Because if we find an imbalance, statistically speaking, that increases your risk of injury. We're going to work on that for you. If we find a muscle tightness area, statistically, science shows that it increases the likelihood of you being injured up to 5 times more likely of injury if you have a loss of shoulder range of motion or neck range of motion. So those are the kind of things that we're going to address and give you measurements to work towards, because without those measurements, you really don't know what you're working on, and you don't know what to do to prevent injury. So, that's our number one goal, is to reduce the risk of injury. But maybe it's a balance issue. That's another thing we look at with our physical therapy screens. We look at your balance to see if you have an increased likelihood of being a fall risk. We have a computerized system that we put you on both of our offices the one in Bridgewater as well as the one in Cranberry have balance machines that we have you stand on, and that indicates whether you are or are not a fall risk. So we really are able to do fine detail work as far as looking at measurements, looking at areas that you are at risk or not at risk for, and help you to focus on what you need to work on. A lot of people do general exercise programs, which is fine for general exercise program if you're just looking to get your heart rate up. But if you have a specific area that we have a concern with, or you have a concern with, if you're working towards a target, we need to measure those things to find what you need to work on. So you're getting the best bang for your buck. So if you need to work on your neck range of motion to reduce risk of injury, we're working on that. If you need to work on your shoulder strength to reduce risk of injury, we're working on that. Otherwise, you're just kind of going through the motions. You're not making any difference towards what you need to achieve, and you're still going to get hurt because you were just going through the motions. You weren't working on a specific activity that you need to focus on. So that's what MRS Physical Therapy through our physical screening helps to do, is to find those areas that are a risk of injury, whether that's your neck range of motion, shoulder range of motion, strength of the shoulders, strength of your lower body. Range of motion of your ankles is really important. That's something that we lose as we age. We've been doing this for so long. I've been a PT for 35 years. My other therapist has been a PT pretty close, I think 34, maybe a year behind me. But we've been doing this for so long. We know what areas to look at when a person walks in. And we talk to you. We want to talk to you about what your goals are to work towards. So your goals are the number one thing to focus on. That's your target. But then we're going to help you to meet that target through looking and assessing all those areas that need to be assessed.
How often does that happen? Somebody walks into MRS Physical Therapy sight unseen, and you or one of the other people look and say, possibly going to be looking at this first.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
So when people come in and they tell us that they're they're dizzy, we need to figure out why they're dizzy. It's not just one thing; it's multifactorial. And the ENT doctors, they send their patients to us at MRS Physical Therapy because they know we can help differentiate why they're dizzy. A lot of people come in and they're like, you know what? I watched something on YouTube or I Googled it and it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you weren't diagnosed yet, and you need to be properly diagnosed. By a doctor and a physical therapist to help know, which direction you need to work on for your dizziness. It's not just a one-step solution. There could be multiple things that are going on. I had a patient this morning that has 3 things going on with her dizziness. She's got neck pain and neck tightness, which causes what's called cervicogenic dizziness. She has the crystals in the ear. That's the common vertigo, or BPPV, that we need to fix. And then she has vestibular hypofunction, which means her vestibular system is just slowed down through the aging process. So we're working on 3 different things to help out with her dizziness. It's not just one simple thing. And it is pretty complex. The body's a complex thing, and each system in your body is complex. So the vestibular system is just one of those complexities that's not just a simple, here, do this and you're done. It's looking at, what's causing the problem, which is what we do in our evaluation assessment, and then giving you the proper direction of things you need to work on to help out with your dizziness so you're not dizzy anymore.
That's a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot of moving parts. It's fun it's actually fun for us as physical therapists because it's a puzzle, and physical therapists you usually are kinds of people that like to solve puzzles and figure out what's going on, and figure out the problem and how do we fix the problem. And the joints are the same thing. The shoulder joint's a very complex joint. It's not simple at all. There's a lot of moving parts in the shoulder joint, and that's why a lot of people have shoulder issues. But a lot of surgeries can be avoided with proper physical therapy, making sure your motion, your joint motion's right, your flexibility of the muscles is right, and your strength is right. There's so many small muscles in the shoulder joint. You have the rotator cuff muscles, which are small. They all have to work together. And the parts have to work together in the right way to have proper shoulder motion and proper strength and not have any pain and be able to do things like play pickleball and not have any issues.
Before the news, I was looking, what's that called that you got my blood? Or
the pulse oximeter. It's a very simple tool. You can get it on online. You can order them for about $15.
All right.
I recommend everybody have a pulse ox at home, especially as you age, because it gets your oxygen saturation as well as your heart rate.
That's what I want to ask you about. Dale Reckless of MRS Physical Therapy. We did that earlier. That little, about the size of a matchbook, maybe a Zippo lighter, and my watch, according to the people that make my watch, they tell me the exact same data. how accurate when I go, because I looked on the app earlier, there's about 15 different things that my Fitbit and Apple Watch claim that they're telling me, including oxygen.
Yeah, I think the technology has really gone far, and that what the information that it provides is fairly accurate. Some people get information overload where there's too much information that it gives you, and that kind of can frustrate people when it's giving you too much. So I like to try to simplify it, especially for the aging population. All we really need to know right now is your heart rate and your pulse ox to work on targeting your goals for your exercise goals that you have for this year.
Just running down the list, this particular app, it rates my daily readiness. Daily readiness, cardio load, active zone minutes, hourly activity, distance, energy burned in calories, and 5 different health metrics.
Yeah, I would guess the one other thing that I like with some of the watches and Fitbits is it measures your steps. I would say measuring your daily steps, that's an important metric. But your heart rate, your pulse ox, and measuring your daily steps, I would say are the core basic measurements that I would want to have someone track. All the other stuff, I think, is information overload for the majority of the people.
That information means something to you, but somebody like me, that's just, I'm overthinking it, aren't I?
Probably, and I think that's why people get frustrated and they lose track of what they need to focus on, is they start going down too many rabbit holes, and too many rabbit holes lead you to frustration and lead you to dropping out, and that's what we want to prevent, the dropouts from the exercise programs.
Do you have people that go the other way, that it becomes so metric-based and that's all they're looking at?
Oh, yeah, there's very obsessive people out there that, that
like
that's,
my 5 metrics, I only got 4 of the 5. That means I'm going to die.
Yeah, and obsessing about some metrics is okay, but obsessing about all the metrics, that can be really overload, I think, for people. And what I encourage is just really being as simple as possible. Simplify what your target is. Come to see us at MRS Physical Therapy, and we'll help simplify what your measures and what results you should be looking for. What level of activity you should be looking for. We can help you out with the equation of the calculation of your target heart rate, so we can help you identify how much time and how hard you should be working to meet your goals, whether that's reducing your cholesterol, losing some weight, just having some overall fitness. We try to make it as simple as possible, so there's not too much information that you need to worry about.
Is it more difficult when the weather outside is ridiculous? I think it's 13 degrees right now. Do you see people bail because...
Yeah, so being outside, we definitely don't recommend exercising outside in this kind of a weather for a number of reasons. The temperatures being so low, number one. Slippery surfaces is the bigger one, though. Walking outside, there's ice that you don't see and you slip and fall. You might have great balance, but you fall on ice, and that's not preventable. So you got to be really careful. A lot of people right now, I recommend if you're going to exercise, find a local gym, go to the YMCA, go walk around the mall, go take some laps around the mall. That's a great way to get your steps. And they have a great fitness center at the mall too. The center at the mall is a great facility for people, and I recommend that as well. If you have a home treadmill, that's what we use at our house. We have a home treadmill that, a home treadmill, a home rowing machine, some simple, home pieces of equipment that you can use. A lot of people have these home pieces of equipment that, end up as clothes hangers versus exercises.
They hang clothes on. So I want to ask you something about the treadmill. How do you not keep from going instant hamster in a wheel? Are you listening to music? Are you watching videos? How do you do it?
Yeah, usually listening to music or watching videos. Everybody's got their smartphones now, so you just prop that up on the stand on your screen on the treadmill. On our treadmill, we use a really simple treadmill. I got it on MacBid for like $40, and it's a dream. We got a great deal on it, and it works great. It's lasted. We've had it for 2 years, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. We don't need the bells and whistles. It just needs to go. It has something for you to walk on in the wintertime. So it's really helpful.
All right, need to take a break. We're coming back. I got more questions. Dale Reckless is my guest from MRS Physical Therapy on Beaver County Radio.
In a recent live broadcast, Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy stated that if you are over 65 years old, the CDC recommends getting an annual fall risk screening.
Your vestibular system is similar, where it starts to slow down at the age of 40 to 50 years old. Your balance systems start to change at the age of 40 to 50 years old, and they keep getting worse. So it's not just something you do once, but you should do it annually, because your body continues to change year to year as you get older.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place that your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy, located in Stone Point Landing in Bridgewater, or Cranberry Physical Therapy on Route 19 in Cranberry. For more information, call Dale Reckless today at 724-728-7550 or visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
Looking for a quick and easy lunch or dinner idea? Stop by your local McDonald's now and pick up a $5 meal deal. You'll get a McDouble or a McChicken, 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and small soft drink, all for only $5. You'll love it and your family will too. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
When the weather turns bad, you can now do two things. First, tune to Beaver County Radio for the latest cancellation announcements, and second, go to beavercountyradio.com and access our all-new closings and delays widget that is active anytime that there are weather-related events. If snow's got you covered, so do we at Beaver County Radio. Beaver County Radio social media and beavercountyradio.com. Snow Watch is presented by Monroe Auto Body, the Lisa Latham team at eXp Realty, the cornerstone of Beaver County, and Beaver County Radio.
You are listening to Something to Crow About with Eddie Crow. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888.
We've covered a lot of ground. Well, Dale Reckless has covered a lot of ground. If you got to listen and you want to go back and see it, it's on our Facebook page, being live streamed now, and it'll be up there to watch later. A lot of ground got covered. Dale, tell people how they can get in touch with you to sort out a better year.
Yeah. So, for 2025, you want to make some changes. You want to take care of the things you haven't been able to take care of last year, give us a call. We can do these physical therapy screens at either office. So we have an office in Bridgewater in Beaver County, and that's MRS Physical Therapy, and we are located inside of Stone Point Landing, right in the heart of Bridgewater. And that telephone number is 724-728-7550. And then we have an office in Cranberry Township, and that is Cranberry Physical Therapy, located on Route 19, right next to North Park Lounge, and that number is 724-591-8121. You can call us. You can email me if you have a question. My email is d.reckless@mrsphysicaltherapy.com. Or if you want to check out our website is mrsphysicaltherapy.com, and you can check out all sorts of information on our website. Keep in mind, you don't need a doctor's referral to see us. Most insurances, you can just come right to see us. You don't need to see the doctor first. And we take all insurances as well. So no matter what your insurance is, you should be covered by coming to see us at MRS Physical Therapy.
110 is my current heart rate from being around you. So you realize that means the hour I just spent with you counts as exercise.
I don't know about that. I don't know about running a talk show is enough to get your heart rate up high
but
enough.
If my heart rate's at 110, my heart rate's at 110. If that's in my target zone for exercise, and then it's an hour, that's 40%.
We're going to need to push you as an athlete to somewhere between 75 and maybe 80% as the target heart rate. So
as long as it don't involve that
remember,
treadmill.
Everyone's individualized. I'm giving general. I'm giving general numbers here. The 50 to 75% range. Use the 220 minus your age. Multiply that by 50% and multiply it again by 75%. That should be your target heart range by doing a regular exercise program to get it up there. Now, you might be someone that, on the radio you're at 110, but it might be really hard to get you up to that 120. So
no, when you were going through all those numbers, it jumped up to 115. So you throw the quadratic formula out there, I'm at 130. What's my maximum before my heart just goes like a Bugs Bunny cartoon?
That's 220 minus your age. So what do we have?
160?
Yeah, 160.
That's it?
160. Your heart's not going to explode at 160, but that's a number that you don't want to have to stay at for too long.
Okay, because when I am doing stuff, it gets above that. Should I stop doing that?
Well, it depends on what kind of if you're riding your bicycle and you're in pretty good shape and you're getting up there, then I think you're probably fine. But yeah.
And there we go. We made it to 120 beats per minute. Thank you, Dale Reckless, for the hour of working out.
We might want to check on the technology wearing on your wrist and the accuracy of that.
Stress counts as exercise. Dale Reckless, MRS Physical Therapy. You want to tell me anything else to see if we can get up to 160? Nothing?
No, I probably shouldn't say those things that would get your heart rate up to 160. But I do want to remind the listeners that we are open both offices Monday through Friday. We start at 7 a.m. in the Bridgewater office, so if you want to hit us before work, we just started those new hours a couple months ago, and they're very popular. A lot of people have been taking advantage of coming to see us on the 7 a.m., and then we're open until 7 p.m. in both offices. So if you need to come see us after work, a lot of the listeners I know are working people, so if you need to come take care of whatever it is before work or after work, we can help you out with that. But otherwise, we're there all day, Monday through Friday as well. So whatever your target is, for this year, write that down. That's your target. But if you want help with meeting that target, come visit us at MRS Physical Therapy. We can do a physical therapy screen, do a physical therapy physical, if you will. Take a look at what your target are, what you want to reach towards. We'll help you out with the target heart rate. We'll talk to you about what your aerobic exercise activities are, what your resistance, strength activities are. And I think it needs to be measurable for you to get your results. So obviously, you weigh yourself on a scale, so that's an easy measurable one. You can see the results as you drop that weight. But just like that, you need to know if your neck range of motion is good, if your shoulder range of motion is good, if your ankle range of motion is good. Anything you want to work on to improve your goals, to reach your target. So if I used the example earlier, if you want to be a pickleball player, you should be checking out your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back to make sure that they are where they need to be so you don't get an injury. So we do a lot of these pre-activity screens to help you out with that so that when you want to meet your target, you're not going to be injured this year trying to meet that target. And we take care of those things at MRS Physical Therapy.
All right, my resting heart rate's 61, my max is 160, and my Dale Reckless heart rate seems to be about 114. So we're good to go. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, and I wish everyone a Happy New Year. And give us a call, and we'll help you take care of your New Year's resolutions.
Are you fading away, or He's fading as we go.
I was watching my number go down as I backed up.
We're just curious what was going on. All right.
It went back up again. Thanks, man.
Listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.